Hello, I'm Richard Raffan, and in this video you'll see how I made this little ash dish. It's around 8-inch diameter. So the blank here is just over 8 inches diameter. The main features of it are there's a long split just here, which goes to all the way out to there. I marked it already. Yes, so that's going to be better on the bottom side. So this will be the top. There's a hole still left over from the compass when I was cutting the blank. Hole in the middle. I might just waggle it a little bit so that it goes better onto my homemade screw chuck. And this is a dry blank. It was cut, there's the date, 6/18. So it's 3.5 years old, so and it's claret ash, which is fairly stable anyway, so that's good. And I'm going to have this running fairly slowly. It's probably about 200 RPM at the most, and that just feed it on, makes it slightly easier to go on and then tighten it up. And it's a number 14 wood screw in here, and I've got plenty of backing surface, so you don't need a huge amount of screw to go in. I was a bit worried there's space in here, so it might wobble a little bit, but see how we go. If it does wobble, I can bring the tail centre up. Now the main thing is to keep track of this split. So that's fairly true at the moment. And what I'm going to do is mark where that is on the top face up here, so I know where to look for it later. And I'll also mark it down in there as well. So it's in that arc. So, and it comes out to there. So my main aim is going to be to get rid of all that to start with, and I do that wearing the using generally a 3/8 spindle gouge, because it's a much less expensive tool than the bowl gouges. I can probably run this nice and steady. I just wind it up until the lathe starts jumping around, which it doesn't seem to want to, so probably running around 1500. So just using the wing of the tool, sweeping it through and up. I want to get it's fairly rough on the bottom here, so I want to get all that away too, but I don't want to take away all my marks just yet. So the split should be, because it goes from there to there, there should be remnants of it in there, but I can't see it. Right, now coming across the bottom, if I push the handle away, that sweeps the edge in, and it's easy to take away too much. So I have the end of the handle pivoting against my hip, hand plant on the rest, and squeeze the tool in. Got more control. Kick my little finger up to keep the shaving down my face. I can hear that's running pretty true. There's a little bit just here somewhere. Yeah, a little bit more to go, so fraction more there, and then I can flatten that, and that'll be where my base is. That little skid was the wood just coming down on the upper side, just to the right of the nose of the tool. So, just to get that slightly eyeball generally. Now I can come round the side. All I want to do at the moment is just true this up, so bevel lined up with where I want to go, which is straight. Ease the tool in, and then keep the bevel right in there. Don't go racing off the end, because that'll split with the rim. Just come round from here, I put my finger underneath the rest and just ease the tool forward with my thumb, so I've got a lot of control there. and then I can roll the tool up on its side and use the lower wing slightly and just ease it in. And that establishes what I have to use in the way of nice clean material. And I've still got the arc in which I'm looking for the split, which is somewhere in there. Seems to have gone, which is lovely. Right, so that's what I've got to play with.
Cut. Do you want more of your arm in there? Like, do you want this to come out this way more? So you're really only just sort of seeing the tip there.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, we could ease that out a bit, couldn't we? Be all right. I mean, mostly they want to see the. I was thinking we had the broader view over there, or don't we?
We do, yeah. We've got.
Yeah, no. You've got the broad view there, so that's fine.
You happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're getting quite a nice. You see how the tool's used here, so that's good. Right. So. Right. So. We can carry on now, can't we? Right, so we've just adjusted the camera angles a little bit. Now I've got to decide what to do with this blanket. I had a wide rim dish in mind. I can still just spotted a teeny bit of the old split just there, so that'll come out very easily. So I'm going to take this down to a foot. Somewhere around here, and then I'll have a wide rim. Now if I'm going to make a foot, I might as well, if it'll fit, I might as well use this chuck, and then I can have a small bead of a foot, and that will mean that I can take the piece finished out of the chuck, and if I don't like it, then I can take the foot off later anyway. So I'll just get the dividers set for the diameter. So initially I'll go with that as a base. I'll mark that first. Now a little bit wider than I was expecting. Right, so I don't think that's what I want, so we'll be re-chucking this to turn the bottom off anyway, so I'll do it on the smaller step jaws, which will be, the foot will be about that diameter, so we'll just get on to the general shaping. So still with a 1/2 inch spindle gouge, start to get a rim. So coming up round the corner here, and using the bulk of that comes off with the left wing. Bring the tool handle up slightly so the corner of the nose of the tool gets into the corner, and then I can just squeeze it back, and that develops my rim. Then I can start to look at a foot. Knowing that I'm going to have to re-chuck the foot just to take off any tool marks eventually, unless I come down to the size of my smaller chuck. Unfortunately I got rid of my 120 chucks when I was downsizing, and that was the middle size between the other chuck I've just looked at and this one. I'll just see how this will look for size. I can probably live with that. So, 1/2 inch spindle gouge again. Just come in and get a little rough that out. I've still got a little bit to go on that foot. No, that's not looking too bad. So I'd like to get some more curve in there. Yep, that'll do. So claret ash works really nicely, so I can do most of this with a scraper. Scraper really is the wrong word. You just want to stroke the surface and you get these lovely shadings. Now this is a shear scraper. It's got a rounded side so that it slides evenly up and down the rest when you're shear scraping, but it also means that round side don't have a really sharp corner, and I ground that away. It makes it very difficult to get into the corner there. Now I can do that with a square end scraper here, or I can just tilt this right up on edge and get in tight. So that gives me a shear scrape right into the corner. Let's see what's happening up on the surface here. Looks pretty good. Now coming into there, I'd like a little bit more of a curve, and I can't do it with that one. I've got another bowl scraper there, that will get in on that curve quite alright. Just very gently, you can see clouds of dust. Let's take that away. The junction here, I like to undercut that very slightly so that when you look at the bowl from the side, there's a definite angle there, and I usually get at that with the 3/8 spindle gouge just right on its side and just nudge the nose in underneath. It also means I can sand into the corner there. Now at the bottom, can now cut that. I've established the diameter of the sides. I'm having difficulty focusing where the line is. Whoa, just a little catch. Which does happen occasionally, unfortunately, so that just means I've got a slightly shallower foot. I'll take that away with the shear scraper. So the rest comes up and gets tilted down slightly, so we get the angle between the top of the tool here and the surface you're cutting needs to be less than 90. Those of you with a negative rate scraper will be using that. I don't see the point of negative rate scrapers myself. And then I can use the corner there and just ease that in. A simple bit of decoration. And that's ready to sand. So 180 grit. I better check that I'm not being overly optimistic, saying 180 grit. That seems to be fine. Close to not being quite flat, so I'll just take the middle off again. So pulling the abrasive in onto my hand, you can much better if you're just standing there putting pressure on with one hand, puts a lot of pressure on your lower back. Says on the bottle here, which is soap. Just find a convenient dispenser. So I slop that on. And then put a layer of beeswax over the top. Melt the beeswax on. This rag's now getting pretty soaked with oil and wax, so I need another one to just clean off a little bit. So put that over here. Nice clean bit of cotton. Right, so that's the outside of that. There you are, nice homemade screw chuck. And use the this is the VM100 chuck with shark jaws in. Oh, I should have checked that a bit earlier. That little bit of didn't true that right the way down, which means I've got a thinner rim than I was expecting. So if it comes to it, the diameter will be slightly smaller too. So price you pay for not checking properly in the first place. So I'm going to use the half-inch bowl gouge this time, asymmetric grind. So I'm going to use the full curve of the left wing. I can have the tool on its side, just squeeze it in. Top surface flat. So true up the rim. Just press the tool back and forth. Get rid of that's gone, I can feel that. And then flatten this by rolling the tool over. Get the bevel rubbing, bevel heel on first, pivot the tool round, and then roll it slightly anti-clockwise to get a shaving, and then back to center. A wee bit high with the rest, so just prop it slightly. Right, so that's almost flat. Now I'm going to measure the get a depth hole drill, so 3/8 spindle gouge just to get a starter hole, and then on this twist drill I've got a number of lines marked, and just need to keep tabs on the one I've selected, and will go into that mark. In fact, just short of it on this occasion. So that's the depth established now. I like to get down to the bottom of the hole as quickly as possible so that I know where all the other cuts are going to end up. So bevel right here to start with, and then ease the tool in, rotate it slightly clockwise, anti-clockwise to get it steady. Need the light round a little bit more. Oops. So that's the bottom pretty well done. Now I come in from the rim. You might just adjust the top camera so you get a better view of what's happening. So in this situation, I like to support the back of the cut. So got my hand on the rest, fingers on the rim, and so my thumb is a lateral fulcrum. Gravity keeps the tool on the rest. So ease the tool in. That's it. If you're not sure where the rim is, just to remind yourself, project the curve through, which can be about there, so my inner wall is going to start about there. And now, get that done. The other thing I've got to watch now is at the end of the cut, the shape of this tool leaves quite a cove at the bottom. It's very easy to go deeper than your depth hole. So starting with the tool on its side in the direction I want to go. Once I'm in the wood, then I hardly need that hand. Just a little bit more out of there. I can go the bevel riding. I always feel I've got more control with the scraper. It feels quite thick. I'll just check where we're going with the calipers this time. I haven't been turning very much for years, so I'm getting out of practice with these things. So that's how thick it is there, and it can be half that. Oh, little catch. That's certainly there now. So next is, that's just a shade heavy, that tool. I feel I've got more control over where I'm going with the lighter one. This is 3/8. And now's the time to get the rim completed, so I'm going to bring this down in a bit. Now, as you're coming down here, got that little bit which is about to go, and you think, oh, maybe you just think about a bead there. Little arcing cuts across the top. Use the rim, the wing of the tool, just to do the inside. That's just that little bit. And don't quite like the curve on the inside, but I've got my bowl scraper which will just about get around there now. Going into the bottom now, rest comes up a bit, so I'm definitely tilting down on the flat straight. And the scrapers, I like to have a curve, a radius on the end which is just inside what I'm trying to cut. So it's just I find it much easier to get a broad curve with that tool than I would with something narrow than this one. It's possible to move the tool across, but it's much more difficult to get a nice flowing line with this tool than with the heavier one. I'm just going to use the tighter one to come up in here a bit. Now, I always knew I wasn't going to leave this ring because I prefer a design which is a bit less fussy than that, so I'm just going to get rid of it using the 3/8 bowl gouge. I can also do this with the 3/8 spindle gouge. I don't know what that knocking is. And I still don't know what that knocking is, but it's a bit irritating. It's probably just, yeah. So I'm going to have a go at that with a shear scraper when I can find it. So this time not flat because there's too much wood against the tool, tilted up. Press is to go down very slightly, tilt the tool up. And any pressure I put in with the tool is probably taken up with the fingers on the other side. So if you smell burning, you know you're going too hard. Just using a lower edge of the tool. Now I can undercut that very slightly. Right, not that much wood actually. Okay. Oh wait, I think I'll just leave it like that. I'll cut back very slightly that way with the round nose. I'm pivoting it on my thumb. Severe danger of leaving that curve there. This is the 1/8 one. That'll get round that corner. We see not much pressure against the wood. Press up very slightly. No, doesn't need to do that. I just need to have the tool tilted down very slightly to the centre. Make a bit of an allowance for going deeper than my hole, but that hole, it really is looking a bit thin. Although if it was really thin, it'd be screaming at me with the vibration. Okay, in the centre, which I'll just mark so you can see where it is. To get rid of that, just come up from underneath and then drift the tool lightly across to the left. Like that. Okay, that feels good. Right, so I will generally, I can hand sand this, but I'll show you how to do it with an angle drill too. Didn't prepare for this, so I just need to plug it in. And with this, I'm going to have use some 180 grit and let's see how we go with that. Seems to be coping all right with 180, but if I need to, I can then go up to the 120. Let's trying to get some label off it. Right, it definitely needs dust with this. So the angle drill is way the best tool if you're doing a lot of bowls. One of these is a good investment. Caught the end and makes it a bit raggedy. Right. See, with the angle drill, it does the job very quickly. The downside is that you're likely to wear away the center a bit faster, so it's very easy to get a dip in the center. If you're doing it by hand, the wood's moving more slowly at the center, therefore you get a lump. So whichever way you're going, you're going to have to come to terms with it. If you're doing it by hand, then you're going to be standing way here. That bit's going to be slightly, it's going to get slightly proud, and so if it does, you can just stand across the centre and rotate by hand, and that'll take away any little lump in the middle. The other thing I've got to be careful of is this angle here. I don't want it to be too soft. So I sand one surface and really pull my fingers in against that angle there, and then come in from the other angle to the top. And then coming around the bottom, I probably don't need any more power there. I'm going to use the rotary sander, which got 400 on it at the moment. Go to 240, and so this goes round with the wood. Need a fresh one. You can always be using abrasives as if you've been given a lifetime supply. The moment it doesn't stop cutting, or isn't reducing dust, then just throw it away. It doesn't become a finer paper later. 180 grit is always 180 grit. This tool generally doesn't leave scratch marks, doesn't kind of spoil, so that's done. If you're in production doing bowls, investing in an angle drill is a very good idea. So this has already got oil on it. We are, and that's that. Nice and light, and yep, it's a nice little dish, that one.